Well, hello and welcome to this quick demo where I'll be demoing something that I've been working on for a little bit here. Um, so if we go and navigate to the website Generate Stories, we'll be taken directly to a login page. This is what I've been working on. This website is live right now, but I'm still not done fully deploying the backend, but I wanted to show like an MVP. On the backend, we're using a Postgres database for this particular website, but deployment still needs to be completed before this can actually actively be used by users. There's also some features I'm working on, and I'll show you as we go through this demo here. But let's go ahead and get started. You can see these are all my past attempts. So let's try to apply with some credentials that are not in our database. So let's go with bobby3@gmail.com. And okay, we'll go some random password, sign in, invalid credentials. So that's very good because this is not an account in our database yet. We can, if it was an account, but we had just gotten the password wrong, we could go ahead and try to recover the password. But since this is a new account, we can go ahead and sign up. So full name, we can just go Bobby. So we said this is Bobby3, right, at gmail.com. And just some random password. Just a random password. Oh, one too many. Okay, good. And let's go ahead and create this account. So, okay, good. The account is created. All right, let's save it, sure. And we see we get a little welcome message here, and we have a dashboard that are in our profiles page. So we have a dashboard here. We can log out. We have a little welcome message. In our dashboard, we can begin a new story. This is like a solo story, or we can find a collaboration, someone to collaborate with to work on a story together. We also have different fields. So we have the My Stories field where you can see all the stories that you've made. And you have active collaborations field as well, where once the collaboration functionality is working, is actually live with active users, you'll be able to see your collaborations here as well. So let's go ahead and go to write a story. So what we notice immediately is here is this is Bobby right now. He's a free tier user. So he can upgrade for $5 a month here to have access to our premium features. But as a free user, he gets 20 stories a month that he can generate. We can actually add characters to our story to begin with a character name, some description, but or we can delete a character. We can also add an image if we want. And so we can go ahead and add characters, but for this first story, let's not worry about adding a character. Instead, we're going to go with our basic model. So the advanced model is available to our premium users. The base model is available to all our users. So we can go ahead and start our story. So we can enter a story prompt. So I'll say the year is 2045 and robots have taken over the world. Here on the backend, we'll send essentially the call out to the basic model. It's powered by a Gemini model, an older Gemini model. So that's what's powering this response here. And we get, in fact, the first paragraph is generated for our story. And we can go ahead and add more paragraphs here, guidance for the next paragraph that we'll be working on. We actually don't need to add any guidance. So if I just do continue story, then the next paragraph will be generated just by the LLM. And what we notice here also is that the model uses Bobby's name. So Bobby again is the name of this account holder, the account that we just made. So it kind of incorporates their name into the story, which is kind of cool. So we have our story here, so we can continue to work on the story. Right now I have the stories capped at 8 paragraphs, so you can generate up to 8 paragraphs, but you'll be stopped at the 8th paragraph. But for now, we can just go ahead and finish the story, so we can finish earlier than 8 paragraphs. So we'll go ahead and finish the story here. And if we go ahead and refresh the page, what we notice is that the counter for the amount of stories this month has now increased for our user by 1. And if we go to our profile now, we see that indeed this information is represented in our dashboard. And we have this story added as a new story with a timestamp. So we can go ahead and view the story. We can see the story that has been generated for us. And we can see the prompt that we gave. And the story was created on a certain date. We can also export the story. So if we go ahead and export the story will be exported to our downloads folder, and we can use that to do whatever we want. So that's pretty much it for our free use functionality. Now let's try to actually have another story, but for this story, I'll go ahead and I'll upgrade. So because this is just like a demo, this feature isn't fully built up yet, but we'll just move to our premium tier just to demonstrate this. But what would actually happen is at this point, the user would be prompted, to provide their information, their payment information, and then a transaction would take place for that premium tier. But for now, we'll just press OK and we'll jump. Now, notice that we're now in the premium tier, and so we have unlimited stories that we can generate. So we can go ahead and start to generate this story here. I will actually generate a story, add a character to the story. I'll call the character Steve, and I'll say Steve is Steve is a ex-Marine living in a post-apocalyptic world. And we can actually add more than one character as well, but we'll just keep it to 1 for now. And for our actual story prompt, we'll say Steve, or we'll just say the year is 2045 and robots have taken over the world. And we can go and start the story again. So we generate the story. Now we could also switch to our advanced model and generate with that. So here, this time I will give some guidance. So the guidance I'll give is, I don't know, Steve shoots, is being chased by a robot with glowing red eyes. Okay. Right, that's like a bad dream, but so we'll generate. And so this model, first of all, is just a more advanced model, and so I like it very much. Also, a very cool thing about this model is this model is powered by a model from Hugging Face, and the guardrails on that model are much less stringent than they are for like this older Gemini model. So it allows you to generate stories that might perhaps contain like more violence without having that immediately like that response that's like, I can't talk about this. So so we can go ahead and we generated this paragraph here. So let's go ahead and actually finish the story. And let's upgrade. Let's refresh. And so we see now it has refreshed here. Also, it's represented. Unfortunately, those are titled pretty much the same thing except with the comma. But we can go in here as well. And you have the story and you actually have the character as well. And we can go ahead and export this as well. Whatever. Okay, cool. Now, I wanted to show you guys one more feature. This is a feature I've been working on. It's not ready yet, and it would only really take place once this is actually deployed and you have live many users on it. But this is the Find Collaborator feature. So this is kind of cool. So the idea is that a user would be able to choose a genre. So let's say, for example, science fiction, and then they are able to add the actual prompt. So like, let's just say a spaceship flying I suppose it's not really flying. Okay, it's fine. Flying across the galaxy. Okay, all right. Okay, so you can find match. And right here, this is just like someone from this is like the thing like a pop-up that will show us like what collaborators actually found um, for this, but it's just like selecting something from the database. It's just some random thing. So this is not terribly accurate, but you would be able to start collaborating and then work on that. But again, this functionality actually needs to be built. And then once the collaboration would start, that story would start here. And the difference is that in our actual story, you would have the two users would be taking turns to generate the paragraphs. So I think this is a pretty cool functionality, and people might really like it. But yeah, so I wanted to finally demonstrate one more thing here. So if we go one more time and we say Steve and X Marine in a post apocalyptic world. So we add, let's just leave it at that one character. So um, Steve is running from a pack of hunter killer robots. Okay, let's start the story. And so I kind of wanted to show how the story would progress. So again, the actual this input is optional, so we can just keep going and generate the story. And you have the progress bar will follow the story here. And and um, and so we can follow through the all the paragraphs that our paragraph limit. And at the very end, we're actually prompted for an epilogue. We can make an epilogue for our story. And after the epilogue is actually generated, then our story is saved also as a finished, as effectively a finished story as well. And I've been really impressed by this particular model. I think the stories that are generated are actually quite interesting. So you can actually now generate the epilogue. So let's say okay, how does the story end? The shadows seemed to close around them, offering a fleeting sanctuary as they raced against time, seeking a future amidst the echoes of a world long past. We can say Lily, Lily, and Steve fall in love. Okay, all right, and we can generate our final epilogue, and so it tells us that the epilogue is now generated. So, yep, so it continues on and actually finishes the story here. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is now effectively a finished story. And so if we go to our stories, we'll see we are now updated to 3, and we see this is the latest story here. Also, we have this little counter here. So because we don't have any actual collaborative stories, we don't have anything appear here, but you can parse just solo stories and collaborative stories. And finally, you can also just go ahead and log out, and it takes us back to our login page. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but I have really enjoyed working on this. I think it's an idea that has potential, and it's very fun to go and actually work on these stories with the LLMs and see where they take things. But that's pretty much it from me. Thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.